we've just seen so many Ricos where the star rapper, the young thug of the situation, or the Lucci is like actually ordering stuff, never mind driving people around to do stuff. And like when you look at Gotti, it's kind of like, oh, I feel like you're someone who you've seen the game, you've been watching it play out for all these years, and you don't want to end up in that situation. So you make sure that you stay very far away from any kind of street shit.
Yeah, for sure. He you know, his upbringing was, I guess it served him right, in I guess in certain, you know what I'm saying, instances. You know, he seen it all at an early age. You know, so you know, I think if I want to correct me if I'm wrong, I think his mom went to prison, federal prison. Maybe one of his aunts or something like that, or whatever. So you know, he always been around, and he knew the streets at an early age. I'm sure, you know, because it's right there. So I'm sure he know the do's and don'ts. He probably learned them sooner than a lot of other people did.
So you are forming this relationship with Jook and everything, but did you have a relationship with Dolph prior to this, or how well did you know him?
I mean, me and Dolph didn't have a relationship where I wake up on the phone and call him, hey, what up, bro? What you got going on? And pull up on me. It wasn't nothing like that. It was if I had some good weed in Orange Mound that they didn't have necessarily access to at that time in Castalia. There's been times when he's called me and I've called him when he's had a certain grade of marijuana or strand that I didn't have. And you know, so, you know, yeah, we've done those type of transactions for sure. And,
okay.
Yeah, and like I said, you know, Big Daddy O, the leader of Paper Route, good dude. Know him personally. Been in them rooms hustling all night with, you know, doing what we had to do.
But so are you thinking like by aligning yourself with Jook and Straight Drop and this sort of CMG side that you're naturally going to kind of become at odds with PRE and Dolph? Or are you thinking like, I'm just doing business, so I'm not going to really be seen as being...
Yeah, it was more so, you know, because I never was interested in getting... I ain't want the fame that came with it. I just wanted my name on that contract where I get my percentage.
Right.
You know, I don't want to be Diamond Dash or none of that. You know, I just wanted to be able to take care of me and my kids for the rest of my life and generate some wealth, some income for my kids and their kids. So, you know, that was my plan. I ain't never want to move around. I ain't never want to be on Vlad. I ain't never want to be on no Jumper. And I'm a big fan of the show. You know what I'm saying? Follow it for sure, because I'm a hip hop. You know, I come from the era, so. But
some people end up in this position, and some people, the whole goal is to become a media personality or to do enough beefing or enough controversy that they could end up on a show like Vlad or No Jumper. You were just trying to do business, make some money, and then you ended up in the situation where people like us wanted to talk to you.
Yeah, correct. You know, and at the same time, you know, I always been, I who don't like money, and so you know, if it's a situation where I could potentially capitalize off of negativity, then I'm gonna do it. You know, so I've been seeing a little, you know, backlash and people saying things about my channel, my YouTube channel, which is at quitpics.com. And so, you know, they can be upset or whatever, but at the end of the day, I feel like if they was in my shoes, they would do the same thing, you know. It fell in my lap. I didn't go looking for it or whatever. So, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah, it is kind of weird because you're like famous for something that you didn't do and that you weren't found, that you were at least not found guilty of. But it's like inevitably like some percentage of people are going to view you as essentially taking credit for the charges that you beat by doing media, talking about all the charges that you beat. It's kind of like a tricky role for you to be in, huh?
Well, yeah, for the ones that think like that, I think they should, you know, maybe watch the Vlad interview. You know, I ain't never been a goofy to take credit for something that I played no parts in. I absolutely, positively didn't have anything to do with the murder of young Dolph.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna give you an example, and I ain't get this to Vlad. I've been in the streets a long time, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think you could say I probably jumped off the porch maybe when I was maybe 16 or something like that. I was gambling before then, but I wouldn't necessarily call that jumping off the porch. I started getting money, started like dealing drugs maybe when I was 16. And with that being said, I was probably, when Dolph got killed, I probably was maybe, 41 or some shit like that. I mean, I've been in the streets a long time. What idiot, gonna go on a drill, conspire to kill someone as famous as Young Dolph and agree to park the car across the street from his house?
Mm.
Like, some shit just don't make no sense.
That is not what you do. You burn the car, destroy the car.
I've been on this street 40 years plus. Know everybody on the street, from the older people, the younger people, everybody. Why would I park the car across the street from my house where I sell drugs?
You're saying that that's something that some knuckleheads who did this might do, but it's definitely not something that you would have. If you were a part of the conspiracy,
ain't no way
you would have told them to do it a lot smarter than they did.
Even if I advised them or didn't, ain't no way that car coming back across the street from my house.
Mm-hmm. All right, let me ask you about that. So when the shooting did happen, the white Benz went viral, and we seen pictures of it outside of I guess people was calling it a trap. So you saying that was your home outside, across the street was where you was living at?
Well, the yard that the car was found in,
yeah,
my spot was directly across the street from it. So.
And that was such a smoking gun when that information came out that we were like, oh, now we know exactly how this situation played out.
Yeah, and you would think that, especially if you don't know the dynamics of my street that I grew up on.
Yeah.
Like, I had a god brother at one point named Bobby Carter, and he's deceased now. That's how I met Cornelius, through him. He brought him around. And with that being said, Cornelius was on that street before I was even released from prison, based off of, Bobby. He had a pass to be over there on the strength of Bobby. So he didn't need me to be on the street chilling or whatever the case may be. So when the car was parked at that location, if you don't necessarily know that he had a relationship with Bobby prior to me, you don't know. The only reason you think he might park that car on the street is based off of me, of me and his relationship. But he was on that street before I even got released from prison. And that was with Bobby.
You knowing both Straight Drop and Cornelius, why would they park that car there if you just had to guess?
If what was reported is true as it relates to him being shot, I just think they panicked, maybe. From what he testified to, he said Justin was shot, grazed as well.
In the shoulder or? In
the back or something, yeah. I think. And if that's the case, if you just coming off a drill or a high-profile drill like that, both of y'all shot, I just think they panicked and wasn't thinking. That's the only sense I could make of it.
Because they shot multiple music videos. Straight Drop had multiple music videos in that same yard of the house. So everyone was like, why would you?
Well, I wouldn't say multiple. He only
at least
had,
one of them.
He had one.
All right.
And yeah. And so, with that being said, if you got a video that you shot in that yard, you just made more sense of it, Remo. Why would you park the car you just killed Dolph in the same yard where you shot a video with? That's panic. That's the only thing that I could think of. I done been in them situations before, so it's like everything happening fast, so, and it definitely wasn't a conspiracy, because if it was, they would have had something better than that,
Outside of Bobby, what was you and Cornelius's relationship? How did y'all start getting around each other and build a better bond?
You saying before Bobby introduced me to him, or you saying or after?
Outside of him, because you said you met him through your cousin. So like y'all obviously grown your own relationship.
I met him through my god brother, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. And so he was addicted to pills, you know what I'm saying, X pills or whatever the case may be. I had access to him. You know, I always been a hustler. You know, it's my past life. I don't sell drugs and nothing like that no more. But that was the only relationship that I had with him. You know, he would come over, buy pills. You know, he might buy weed every blue moon or whatever the case may be. He just started calling me big bro for whatever reason. I guess just on the strength of Bobby. But if it wasn't for Bobby, I wouldn't even never met that dude. I mean, he's a bum. I mean, a junkie. Like, I wouldn't have never had no type of dealings with him, period.
Because I did hear you say on Vlad, so all right, so you and Jook had the meeting with Straight Drop.
Correct.
At your house. And during that time, or during the meeting, Cornelius happened to walk up to your house and knock on the door. And he actually told you, he was like, you heard he's out here trying to kill Gotti. But you said you didn't want to bring that to Jook's attention at the time, so you just disregarded what he said. And I guess, I don't know if you served him.
Where you heard it from me, Ron?
On the Vlad TV interview you just did.
Yeah.
You said on the Vlad TV, when Straight Drop was there.
I thought you said, no, I ain't saying you lying.
Yeah.
You definitely heard it. I thought maybe you said, you got it out of Discovery or something like that.
No, it was, I heard you say it.
Yeah. But yeah, that's how that went. And, to get Jook over to talk about some music, was a feat in itself. Right. Jook ain't gonna pull up in the ghetto for anybody.
Yeah.
And so when Cornelius, when I was approached with this, for one, I thought it was a lie, because I never heard of Dolph trying to do anything to Gotti at that point. I done heard of the shit the other way around. And two, Jook hadn't said nothing to me about no beef or Dolph trying to kill his brother. So why would I go back in there and bring up this weird ass conversation and take a chance on running him off on the potential business deal? I didn't want to take that risk.
Yeah.
You're probably thinking this is a nightmare because he might just get up and leave, spaz out on the dude. There's all kinds of bad shit.
One, I'm thinking, this appeal head, he don't know what the hell he talking about. With me being so, I guess, in tune to the streets, I'm thinking I would hear that before he would have. And by me not having heard it at that point, I'm thinking if I go back in here and say something to Jook about this, and let's just say, if it ain't true, Jook gonna be like, who are these weird ass outside saying this goofy ass shit? I don't need to be over. I might not need to be over here.
Yeah.
I might need to roll. So I didn't want to take the chance, and I ain't say nothing to him about it. I came back in, we finished talking about.
Hey, huge shout out to Everything 420. Thank you for always keeping us stocked with goodies over here at No Jumper. Seriously, everything you need is right there in the E420 app. I mean, everything, whatever your vibe is, fast and discreet shipping, and they always have deals going on. Use code NOJUMPER for more money off.